But I felt, to my point of view, the only probable cause was us being young and black.
And I feel like they only stopped me because I was young and black.
So he's grabbing me, and the guy tased me, So I get tased, and he didn't tell me my rights, that I was going to jail. He didn't tell me why I was going to jail for. He didn't tell me anything. He put me in the squad car, and I was in Hennepin County for more than 36 hours, which I was in there for 3 days. So they let me out on Mother's Day.
You wouldn't be able to guess that I was a college graduate by looking at me standing in a parking lot, as well as you wouldn't be able to tell that I was up to suspicious activity just because I was standing in a parking lot. I was studying for my last finals of my college career, and I was stopped. I was stopped outside of my apartment building in the parking lot looking at my car. Places where, you see a lot of Caucasian people standing around, outside of these buildings, outside of these places, smoking, doing whatever, what have you. And I was stopped. These ordinances help enforce profiling.
Whose office is also in Ward 2, right on University Avenue. Well, I'm usually there at Emberg. There's usually college students who are out smoking cigarettes, spitting on the sidewalk, talking, lurking, if you will. But then when I get in my car, I will drive to North Minneapolis, where we have canvassers that would go out, who would be standing outside, maybe barbecuing, maybe smoking a cigar, going through their shifts, and they will be constantly stopped by the Minneapolis Police Department. My equal protection under the law is not just on University Avenue in Southeast, but also on Broadway Avenue in North Minneapolis.
I do believe these ordinances are here to protect racist behavior by the police, and I feel Black people shouldn't be criminalized just by simply living.
Continuing these ordinances place our youth in constant fear, and in addition, enhance this concept that people of color only belong in prisons. I shouldn't be targeted by police officers simply for standing on the street.
This particular day, I was at Long Park, sitting with my friends, A police car drove past. When the police car drove past, he raised down his window. He looked at us, and he smiled, and he kept raised back up his window, and he kept moving. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, we're surrounded by police officers on bikes yards away, cars approaching us. We felt it unsafe. They said they had probable cause. Next thing you know, they taking me, put me in handcuffs. They not reading me my rights. They not telling me why I'm going to jail for, why they're approaching us or nothing. Next thing you know, I'm in the back of the police car. They come after my friend Twan. They do the same thing. They didn't give us any reasons. That's the main reason why I'm here to testify for this repeal of these policies.
I stand here today as a longtime resident of a downtown neighborhood to say that to not repeal both of these ordinances would be to the true detriment of the downtown community, where thousands of people of color who are my neighbors and colleagues work and live.
I'm speaking to you first as a victim, and for the people that are scared to speak up, and for the people that can't speak up anymore. I come to you as a victim time and time again from the practicing of this lurking ordinance. I'm a 6-time survivor of police brutality. I have a criminal record, yes. I once was a criminal, and there is no shame in that. Had I remained a criminal, would be the shame.
And the police officer stopped me, and I had headphones on, listening to music. And I couldn't hear what she was saying. And I tried to put my hand up, and she was very threatening. And another police officer came, and they stopped me, and they said, "What do you have in the bag?" And there was a Best Buy where I was walking around. They said, "Oh, there was a 6-foot African-American gentleman with a hoodie, and it's, Minnesota weather, and how cold it gets." And I told the police officer, "Can I get this thing out of my ears?" He said, "What are you doing?" "I can't hear you." Okay. And after the interaction, he said, "What do you have in the bag?" And I said, "I have a Boston Market salad in the bag."
I was at the bus stop one time. I actually got my phone stolen, but that's not the story. The story is about the responding officer who came to my home afterwards to get my story and everything, and how shocked I was when he proceeded to give me a lecture about how I shouldn't have my phone out in this neighborhood because there's a lot of black people. And that was something he said verbatim that really, really shook me. He saw me as a light-skinned person. I'm a light-skinned Latino, so I have a lot of light-skinned privileges. And I feel like he saw me as like his pal, that he could confide in me, this racist garbage. And I worry that those kind of interactions are happening amongst police.
The white folks are just standing around having fun, spitting drunk, like you said, carrying their friends, doing all this crazy crap. While, black folks are just standing outside, hanging out, not doing anything, but they get victimized for it.